Connecting to audio.
What's up? What's up?
There he is.
Just about.
How are y'all?
Just about the greatest voice I have heard come out of Nashville in the last 3 or 4 years. Welcome to the program, everybody. Jelly Roll. How you doing, man?
Yeah, baby. Good, man. Thank you for having me, brother. Forgive me if I'm a little choppy. We're on the bus.
No sweat at
nice.
all. I'm by the way, this is Andy. He's a longtime review partner with a side venture that I've got called Two Dudes Reviews. This video is going to go up on Two Dudes Reviews, this interview, and also up on the Rock 104.5 website, which I'm happy to say I don't believe we were the first person or the first radio station to play Dead Man Walking in the country, but we were pretty damn close, Jelly Roll. We were pretty damn close.
Yeah, baby. Thank y'all, man.
Yeah.
That song ended up being a 2-week #1 for me.
Oh my God, right? Like, who'd have thunk? But by the way, just real quick, does anybody ever call you by your birth name, Jason?
No, my mother calls me Jelly. It's crazy.
How did
True
Jelly
story.
Roll come out? Tell us about the name.
Well, I was a chubby kid, just like I'm a fat adult. And my mother used to jokingly call me her little Jelly Roll. And then when I got to high school, my buddy One Arm Clay, you won't believe it, but he only had one arm, and he ended up calling me Jelly Roll too. And I was like, that's what my mama calls me, and then it just stuck.
Oh, fantastic! So, I'll be honest, I hadn't heard a whole lot of your music prior to knowing about this interview. So, of course, I put you on the radio and put you on my Amazon Music, took a listen, and was surprised that from the rock stuff and the country stuff that Jave sent me, you're a rap artist. Can you help me understand, and obviously viewers and listeners, how a boy from Nashville came to become a rap star?
Well, I didn't realize I could sing, but I knew I could talk fast. So it was kind of this thing where, you know, and hip hop was also the language of our community at the time. It's just kind of, you know, it was that craze of the 90s when kind of everybody was rolling their sleeves up and getting into rap. So we were just like every other poor white trash community in America, you know. So it just kind of came naturally. And then I just kind of evolved into the songwriting portion of it.
Okay. And so because the country stuff I dig, the rock stuff I dig, you know, I've never been a real rap fan.
Yeah, it was just kind of interesting. It was also I grew up. I was the youngest of 4 siblings, so I had a sister that listened to nothing but rock. I had a brother that listened to nothing but rap. Another brother that listened to Motown. Mother listened to outlaw country music. My daddy listened to jazz or singer-songwriters.
Interesting. You know, Jelly, like you've said, you've gotten some love, some mad love from the hip hop world and from the country world. And you were recently on the Bobby Bones show, who, by the way, is a very, very good friend of mine. I've actually got him on speed dial, the #1 song at rock radio. Is there a genre that you like the most at this particular point in your career?
It's probably a good, an even split between rock and country, because I feel like they're the kind of songs I write the most. Traditionally, I just write the songs from a guitar, and I let the production get sorted out afterwards. So I have less to do with where the song lands at genre-wise than I do where it lands at top line-wise, because all songs start from a G, a C, a D, or an E for me. Right? They all start from a root note on a guitar and the cowboy chords, right? And then it's like every song of Jelly Rolls you've ever heard, including the rap ones, there's a demo version that exists of me doing it over just an acoustic guitar.
Wow, I would love to hear that on the demo album sometime further down the line in your career, Jelly.
Oh, for sure, because I have a phone full. There's a version of just me and a guitar singing Dead Man Walking.
Wow, that'd be incredible to hear. Now you're married to Bunnie XO. Now I don't know if you're familiar with the Crazy Hot Matrix. Is she a candidate to be studied as a unicorn, or does she kind of mimic the Crazy Hot Matrix?
I'm not familiar. Teach me about the Crazy Hot Matrix. This is dope, actually.
You're gonna have to Google it.
Okay.
That's the first time I got puzzled. I was like, oh, this is interesting.
Okay, we'll post a link to the Crazy Hot Matrix video. But in a nutshell, there's a matrix, and you have your crazy line, and you got your hot line, and then the cross right here. And typically, the hotter they are, the crazier they are. And when you find a woman that's like an 8 or 9 hot and only like a 3 or 4 on the crazy, those are called unicorns, and you have to turn them in so that somebody can study them.
Yeah, no, she's one worth being studied. Now, if that was a goofy hot matrix, if this was like goofy and hot, I would say she is definitely on that spectrum. But she's not as crazy as she is just absolutely silly.
Yeah. How much influence?
I posted a TikTok. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's like the TikTok where you hold up your hand and it shows a picture. And I'm like, this is what people know of my wife. And I hold up my hand. It's a picture of her in my hand, like all just sexy picture like Instagram. And then I was like, and this is what I know of my wife. And she's running through our house with a cape on and her hair in those like aluminum foil things when you get it done. And she's going, wee, wee. And it's just like, and I'm like, that's who I married. You know and I was like,
I was going to say, how much influence does Bunnie have on you, kind of keeping you on the straight and narrow? And what does life look like when you're not out on the road? Or is she the instigator in a lot of stuff?
No, she kind of keeps me balanced, man. We ran wild together for the longest, and then she got kind of sober in 2017. And I just chose to drink her half at that point. And she kind of tries to balance me down. She's really the backbone of our family, if we're going to be honest, and she's a tough cookie, but she's hilarious. And life not on the road is sometimes as similar as it is on the road. I'm on the road right now. It's not very different either way,
You've written, you some of your songs and some of the stuff I've listened to, Jelly, deal with sobriety and deal with a lot of those issues. Where does that come from? Was it her influence because she got sober, or is that something that you're striving for as well?
It's a little bit of everything. So it's like addiction's a real sensitive subject and really close to our family. My child who's with me now, me and my wife have raised her the last 8 years. Her biological mother had got really strung out on heroin for a while, and it disappeared for 4 or 5 years. She's sober now, and she's back, and Bailey and her close as could be, and we're all close. But my mother struggled with addiction when I was a child. My father struggled with alcoholism. I probably struggle with alcoholism. I've definitely struggled with addiction. I tell people now I drink and smoke a little pot, but I got rid of all the shit that could really kill me, which was a struggle for me. So I've just been so close to, I've carried so many caskets of people who had fentanyl overdoses or heroin overdoses or died of AIDS or things like this. I was so exposed to that in my community at such an early age that I've just always understood the power of addiction and mental health.
And on that line, Jelly, I'm curious. I want to talk about one of your biggest passions in life, aside from obviously music. I personally have a kid. He's number 4. He's our youngest, who for whatever reason has spent most of his life incarcerated. Not because he grew up, in a trailer on a bad side of town with, drug dealers, but just because that's just who he is. He's also a rapper. He's got a love of rock and metalcore. So I'm curious, you spent a lot of time in the system, and what did you learn in jail, and what was the final straw that put you in that locked up position?
Well, it just becomes a revolving door. And I don't know if you're experiencing this with your child, but it's that once you get into that circle, it's always a joke in jail that when you come back, you'll always see somebody that you either think didn't leave or they just came back too. The faces of the jail hardly ever change, and I just learned that once you realize that you're a part of that revolving door and that pattern stuck, it's then trying to find a way to change it. And I just believe that it's like every other addiction in life, some sort of a rock bottom has to occur. For me, it was my daughter being born while I was incarcerated. That was kind of my yeah, man, I don't want to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I could have been at the hospital celebrating one of the greatest days of a father's life. And I was in cell 222 in, the Correction Corporation of America facility in South Nashville. So that was what really, really, really made me go, man, I got to figure this out. And I believe that you got to change. You got to find something to obsess about that's positive. That's what I speak to people about. For me, it was music. I'm like, to this day, I'm obsessed with making music. Like, obsessed. Like, I think of song titles all the time. It's like a comedian that's always looking for a goof. Like, every conversation I heard that could have been a song lyric.
Yeah. And I love the idea of funding a music program for the juvenile system in Nashville. Can you expand on that a little bit and what you've done in Nashville?
Yeah, we've always been passionate about the youth. Here's my issue. When adults go to jail, by then they've already been jaded. They've been through the system multiple times. They've been in and out of jail. They've learned the system. They've somewhat found comfort in it. You're just trying to help a grown man break a cycle. When you're dealing with a juvenile, you're dealing with a kid who just don't know no better. He thinks this was his only option. They're so impressionable, and they don't hear from people the right way. So I just always had this dream. We go talk to them all the time. We go travel to juveniles, and I just thought about music, and it's like, if there would have been a program to help excel my music or any kind of trade at that point, music just happened to be mine. And people that could come in and really start dealing with these youth and putting together after school programs and real aftercare programs that give kids options. There's kids in certain neighborhoods that have never left there at all. So they don't know that, there's a whole nother life down the street. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, it's just trying to create music programs and different kind of programs to show these kids that there is another way. And I could only imagine where I'd be at in my career had I had an opportunity to explore music the first time I went to juvenile at 14. Because I was rapping back then. I was writing raps. I just had no outlet to know that it could. And it's also, I never seen nobody do it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, I don't know if you heard it on the Bobby Bones show, but I said that the only people that come to juvenile are the Gideons. And I appreciate that they give us the word of the Lord, but you don't relate to them. It's a 65-year-old white man in a tie saying, God bless you. And I appreciate that because I read that Bible 1,000 times, but it wasn't like somebody like me or even you, right? Or even either one of y'all walking into a facility and going, hey man, I have a kid that's been in and out of the system. I found my passion in radio. I found my passion in communications. I found my passion in this, you know what I mean? And then kids know that there's another way to make a living and things you can do that are cool. Most of these kids think they're either going to work at McDonald's or sell drugs the rest of their life.
Yeah, for sure. And you put your money where your mouth is. You were mentioning that. Has this event already taken place, or is it upcoming?
No,
and you're gonna match the donations that you raise from it?
I'm gonna match the donations. It's coming up in December. We're playing the Bridgestone Arena here. There's a few tickets left, and when I say a few, I mean a few. I am blown away. We've been on sale for about 10 days, and we've sold over 11,000 tickets to that arena. This show's gonna sell out. We're gonna sell out the hometown arena. Not only are we gonna sell it out, we're gonna sell it out 5 months in advance, and we're going to take all the money from the show, the profits after you back out the production and the costs, of course, you know how that works, and all the profits from the t-shirt, and then whatever that number ends up being, I'm going to write a check. I'm going to match that with my own money. And between us, and I haven't said this to anybody, I think it's going to be around $250,000.
I wish we could take that idea and make it national, and it would be cost prohibitive to do a tour like that, but maybe you could get a group of musicians. Obviously you're tight with the Shinedown crew to kind of mimic that idea,
right,
and help out other juveniles that are in the system with providing some funding so that there is a way out.
What inspired me to do it was Garth Brooks did a residency when Nashville had the floods. But then I realized, and I can't say Garth did or didn't write a check, but I hate artists that use their name as a fundraiser and never actually write checks. They go take a picture with a big check of money they raised and then walk away and all this cool publicity, and they look like the cool guy. So you got to back that stuff up, man. You got to put your money where your mouth is. It's like, this isn't a one-year thing for me, neither a one-time thing. We're building with the youth outreach impact organization we're working with. Our goal is to have a halfway house for kids to come straight out of juvenile to state approved by 2025.
Wow,
That's
that's great.
fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know a lot of folks have asked you about this. So I don't want to dwell on it, but you made one remark, and I'm talking about facial tattoos here. One remark on Bobby Bones about the significance of the tear. And a lot of people, there's a lot of myths about that for folks that have been incarcerated or for people in the hip hop community or the the gangster community or whatever. But tell me what that means for you.
Well, I was joking with Amy, but for me, it truly is. It represents the tear that we'll never forget we shed. I think everybody has a moment in life where they cried about something that they'll genuinely never forget. They'll never forget that one.
Yeah.
And that's what that represents for me. It's kind of like the cross on my face. I have the Holy Trinity of crosses, but I tell people all the time, it's just a reminder that we got to carry our own at some point. Every man is to carry their own cross, and that's whether you believe in the Bible or don't, right? Just as a general, what Bible to the side, we know for a fact that back then, people were hung on crosses for the crimes they committed, and they were made to carry their own cross before they were hung on them. So, of course, obviously, I am a believer, but so for me, it's just about always remembering to carry my cross every day.
That's great. That's great. Now, you've got a country album in the works, but what about a rock album, or are they going to be combined?
I'm not sure. Ooh, that's the best question anybody has asked me yet, because I'm not sure. I want to marry them again, like I did on Ballads of the Broken.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure that is I'm not sure. I need to seek counsel. We definitely have a follow-up single coming to rock radio, like really soon, like really, really soon. Like I want to go home and finish it next week. Next week will be the first time I've been home for like a week in like fucking 3 months. Excuse my language.
Wow. I look forward to a rock and country album. I really do. I think.
I'm telling you, man.
For those genres, I'm a fan.
Thank you, man. Yeah, no, I think that, and I think they mesh well. And it's just, I got a phone full of fire. Is what I tell people. Like, I go back to the demo thing. I probably got, dude. If we ever get lucky enough to, I hope this happens. I don't know if y'all drink or not, but I do. But if we ever get lucky enough to just hang out and have a beer, there's an auxiliary cable close. Y'all will get sick of hearing it. I'm telling you, I've got a phone full of fire, dude. I keep 20 or 30 songs fully produced in my phone, just waiting to hit the upload button on at any moment.
Well, Andy's in North Carolina. I'm in Nevada, so Andy might have a closer shot at being able to meet you in person than I will here in the span of the next couple of months.
The irony is, I think I'll be in Nevada before North Carolina, because me and Andy just missed each other. I was in Raleigh probably 2 months ago doing some shows, passing through. And I can't remember if me and Shinedown come to Charlotte or not.
We just saw Shinedown in Greenville a few weeks ago.
Yeah, so
I'm closer to Greenville than
not.
Raleigh.
Yeah, probably not.
I'm closer to Greenville than Raleigh.
But I will be in Las Vegas in October 15th, I believe. I'll be in Vegas doing the Free on Fremont Street, third stage.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll be there for sure coming up in October, right after the Shinedown tour. It's my first date.
Very cool. I'll have to find a way to make it down there. A lot of people don't know that Reno is about 8 hours away from Las Vegas. A lot of folks think.
No, I didn't know you was in Reno. I thought you was in I thought you were in Vegas. That's probably the biggest assumption, right? As soon as you said Nevada, I was like, oh yeah, for sure he's in Vegas.
Yeah. No. We're the much prettier Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm not good. I shoot like late 90s. But I love golfing. So this is what I tell you what, I shot an 87 a couple weeks ago, and I came back to the clubhouse a little tipsy. And at that moment, just shooting an 87, I was like, I'm quitting my job right now. I'm going to dedicate my life to making it to the tour. If I focus every day for the next 50 years, by the time I'm 50, I can just join the championship tour. I was like, this is it. I'm done. I'm never writing this song. But I just love it, man. It's therapeutic. It's outdoors. It's the closest thing to physical activity I do. And you can also, it's like the airport, the golf course, and tour are three places you can have a drink at any hour and nobody ever judges you. right?
Yep.
Ever. I went to golf with a 72-year-old man one day, 8:45 in the morning. Golf cart lady pulls up. He goes, "Sweetie, I'll take a double Jack and Coke." 8:45 in the morning. And you know what? When he did, the other two old men that were playing with us were just like, "All right, Bob, I'll take one with you." And I was like, "Yes, me too." Nobody looked at this guy like he was crazy. For, you know what I mean? I think he literally ordered a double Jack and Coke and a biscuit. And I was like, "This is it. This is how I want to retire."
Yeah. I like to say I shoot an 86. If it gets much hotter than that, I don't like to play. Okay, so Jelly, let's say I invite you over for a barbecue the first time you come and play here in Reno, Nevada. What are we grilling up? Ribeye, St. Louis ribs, chicken, or fish?
I'm probably gonna smoke some chicken and throw a steak on or something.
Okay, all right. Andy's the
I
smoke
grill a
master.
mean steak.
After dinner, we're having a sip or something. Bourbon, tequila, scotch, or a cigar and a nice port.
Oh, dude, I'm doing tequila and I'll smoke a cigar with you.
All right.
Shit, yeah. Let's do it.
Yep. I'm still new to the cigars, so I kind of like them mild. But
okay. Well, we will definitely educate you. We'll educate you when we have a chance to meet in person, man. When we have a chance to meet in person.
Sounds like we have a Vegas trip coming in October.
That's it. That's what we should do. Y'all should just come on down to Vegas for the Fremont Street, make a night of it.
All right, we'll make that happen. I'll talk to Nick and I'll find a way to have some debauchery ready for us. All right.
Yes, dude. I'm telling you, come on. We'll sit on the bus and get drunk and smoke cigars and tell fish stories.
Sounds like a good time.
Jelly Roll, thanks so much for the time, man. I really appreciate it. We're gonna let you go, brother, and thanks again.
Dude, thank y'all for your time, man. Thank y'all for being patient with me as the bus is always in motion.
Absolutely.
No worries, man. We'll see you on the road somewhere, and take care of yourself. All right.
Dope. Thank y'all, brothers. Peace, my friends.